You are about to listen to the Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. This is Exclusively Here, where you can get some of the latest news of the week. I am your host, Diego Santoyo. I hope everyone is well and having a great week. Mine has actually been pretty good. So there's been a lot of things going on as usual this week in the world. So let's get going with the first segment and dive into some world news. So this Monday, which was September 5th, there was another suicide car bombing, which ISIS again claimed responsibility for. Last week, this happened in Yemen at an army training camp, also on Monday. And I talked about it in last week's episode. So the one that happened this Monday occurred in central Baghdad. A few people were killed and also injured. And it looks like the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands cannot trust all of his security officers because on the same day as the suicide car bombing, one of them was charged for trying to smuggle some drugs on a plane that was headed to Florida. So the 37-year-old security officer, Neil Chesterfield, was actually trying to smuggle over cocaine, but was caught with it as he was getting ready to get on the plane ride this past Saturday, September 3rd. So I believe it was about 21 kilograms of it, and it was all found in his luggage. And they even got a hold of quite some cash that he was taking with him, which was about $26,000. So looks like being a security officer was not his only job. And on Tuesday, September 6th, a 50-year-old Australian man died after a shark attacked him in New Caledonia. He was kite surfing but fell from his board. At that moment, when he landed in the water, the shark bit him really bad, and it was reported that this was a very large shark. So people did witness the attack, and the man was given the proper medical attention needed. But unfortunately, nothing worked, and he passed away. So this is really sad. He was out on vacation, and kite surfing was just part of his agenda. And on to something else. A woman out in Nigeria is being accused of attacking her husband with a machete while he was asleep. So it turns out that her husband told her that he planned to get a second wife, which she definitely had a problem with. So it seems like she wants to be his only wife, and more additions are just not okay. So it upset her that he wanted to do this, and she bought this machete, which she would use later to hurt him because she didn't like the idea. So she simply waited for him to fall asleep, and once he was knocked out, she attacked him with the machete. Her husband was really hurt, obviously. I mean, she attacked him with the machete, so he was taken to a hospital to get treated, and she was arrested and will be charged. And on Wednesday, September 7th, a woman from Montana was found dead in the trunk of her car. She was kidnapped at a rest stop Tuesday morning. She was on her way home after visiting some family. When she was kidnapped, she had the opportunity to talk to her husband and even the police because she actually had her cell phone with her. So her husband did report her as missing. When the communication was going on, she wasn't really able to tell them where she was because she didn't know herself. The good thing is that authorities were able to track down her location at some point because of the calls. So unfortunately, by the time they got to her, she was dead, but she was found in Washington. She was only 47 years old, and her name was Rita Mays. This is awful, and it's sad that there are people out there that are willing to hurt others. Things like this just shouldn't be happening, and they are. So on Wednesday as well, a 32-year-old Reena Patel, who was a passenger on a cruise ship, went missing after she fell overboard somewhere near the Bahamas. She is from New York, and a search for her is underway. So far, she has yet to be found. It was reported that she actually jumped and not necessarily fell over. She is married and was actually on the cruise ship with her husband and other family members. So this has obviously not been easy for them, and they are just really sad about the whole thing. Well, on Thursday, September 8th, a little over 100 people were stuck in cable cars out at a mountain range in France. It appears that the cables got tangled and that made them stop. So the wind might have played a role in the tangling. So the proper team was called out to see if they could fix it, but they weren't able to. So authorities showed up to get the process going and try to rescue everyone. And that is it for this segment. But don't go away. I have more news for you guys coming up after this. Hey everyone, just want to remind you guys that you guys are listening to Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo. I hope you guys are enjoying my podcast so far. Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo is made available to everyone by 12 a.m. or 6 a.m. every Friday, and you can find my podcast on my website, which is diegosantoyo.com. My podcast is also available on iTunes and on my YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. All right, you guys, we're back, and let's get into some different type of news now for this segment, and now dive into some pop culture. So on Monday, September 5th, it was announced that Beyonce had canceled her concert out in New Jersey, which was supposed to take place this week on Wednesday, September 7th. So this news must have definitely sucked for those that were really looking forward to it, and it just didn't happen anymore. But she did have to cancel the show because the doctor did tell her to do this. She needed vocal rest, and it was highly requested of her to, not do the show. So I believe her Formation World Tour was supposed to end on October 2nd in Tennessee, but that has now changed because even though the show was canceled this week in New Jersey, it will still happen. So it's been postponed until October 7th. So those that did have tickets for the show this week are just going to have to wait a little longer until they see her. So her tour will now end in New Jersey unless life happens and she has to make more changes. But she is not the only one canceling shows because Zayn Malik just canceled his Dubai show this week as well. So the concert was supposed to be on October 7th, which is now the date chosen for Beyonce to perform in New Jersey. But that is not happening anymore. He did apologize for the cancellation, but he has a good reason for canceling the show, and it's due to his extreme anxiety. So he is working on it and trying to overcome it, but it's there, and he just can't do the show just yet. So those with tickets will be getting their money back, even though that's not necessarily what they wanted, because I'm sure they would prefer the show. Well, sucks for Dubai because they have had a few cancellations their way now. Selena Gomez was also scheduled to perform there in November, but that one got canceled as well because she ended her tour early to deal with her lupus disease, which obviously is more important to deal with. So I think there's a new couple in town. At least the rumors are that these two are getting pretty close. It is rumored that Calvin Harris and Eiza Gonzalez are seeing each other. Both haven't really said whether or not they are a couple, so nothing is official. However, they have definitely been spending a lot of time together lately, and I think there's definitely something forming there. But who knows? Only time will tell whether or not this is something serious or just a fling. But I do know that there's definitely no relationship status between Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston. If you've been keeping up with the two lately, you already know by now that Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston have broken up. It was announced this week, and it looks like he might have been the one that ended it. So they were actually pretty serious for about 3 months. Both met each other's parents and friends. It seems like they did love each other, but that ended, and to me, it was pretty fast. It was first said that she called it off because she wanted to keep the relationship more private, while he wanted to be a little bit more open about it and be public with it, which she did not approve. But most recently, it was also being said that he actually called it off because he was simply just tired of her. So you pick what you want to believe. So I'm sure new love will come down Taylor's way soon. Who knows who this next guy will be, but I'm sure once she starts seeing someone new, we'll all hear about it some way or another. And this week, Drake's tour bus was robbed out in Arizona where he performed. I guess a briefcase was taken while robbed from the tour bus, which contains some jewelry worth millions because apparently altogether the jewelry is worth around $3 million. So the jewelry was not Drake's, but actually belonged to his DJ, who happens to be Future the Prince. Authorities did investigate the whole thing and they managed to find the person that stole the briefcase. So they got the jewelry back and that person got arrested. So really mean thing to do, to steal someone's stuff. I mean, it's pretty messed up. And Zendaya experienced something pretty mean this week as well when she was at a Vons trying to buy some gift cards. She was there to buy not just one or two, but quite a few gift cards, and the lady helping her wasn't being quite nice. Actually, Zendaya believes that the lady might have not necessarily been a fan of her skin tone. So Zendaya and her friend felt disrespected because the lady was rude to them, really for no reason. Apparently, the lady did not want to sell them the gift cards because she was pretty much telling them that they couldn't buy them, which is a bit bizarre. Zendaya felt like the lady was thinking that she couldn't afford the cards or something, but obviously she can, and she got like $400 worth of gift cards once the store manager stepped in to help out. So she just feels like progress is definitely needed after what she experienced, and Vons did apologize for the whole thing. So Natalie Portman is pregnant. She is now expecting baby number two. So I'm sure she's really excited. Her son is now 5 years old. So it'll be nice for him to have a little brother or baby sister. She showed up on Thursday, September 8th to her new film premiere, Rocking Her Baby Bump, and she looked great. And I leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. I appreciate it. Catch a new episode next Friday and get some of the latest of the week exclusively here. I am your host, Diego Santoyo. Until next time, peace out.